I am John Davis Marshall, your lifestyle architect. Welcome to Wisdom and Wealth. If my coaching or my counseling can be of help to you, then extend your experience with me. Just visit my website, www.johndavismarshall.com. And while you're there, bless yourself with one of my books and subscribe to Matters Magazine, either digitally or a printed copy. And with this video, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Each Tuesday, we explore faith matters. Pull up a chair, get your Bible, let's take the journey. Hebrews 11, verses 13 through 16. We're going to start a series where we're talking about how to move your faith forward. You do not want your faith to stay in the same place it's always been. But how do I move my faith forward? Let's set the stage, and I invite you to take the journey with us the next several weeks as we lead you methodically, step by step, stage by stage, so that you will be able to move your faith forward. How do we do that? Listen to the Hebrew letter, Hebrews chapter 11, verses 13 through 16. All these died in faith without receiving the promises, but having seen them and having welcomed them from a distance, and having confessed that they were strangers and exiles on the earth. For those who say such things make it clear that they are seeking a country of their own. And indeed, if they had been thinking of that country from which they went out, they would have had opportunity to return. But as it is, they desire a better country, that is a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. In the midst of, by faith, in the Hebrews 11 chapter, in the midst of a series of by faith, read that chapter and over again, you will see by faith, by faith. You will discover routines and rituals that propelled them forward. You will see that it is behavior, it's actions, it's activity that propel them forward. It's a response, because faith is what we do about what we believe that God indeed has said. So keep your momentum as you transition from one phase to another. Pray that God will give you the visionary wisdom that you can willingly follow and announce that you are following God's instructions. Now let's return to these verses and pay close attention to what we learned from them. These died in faith, having never received the promises. Look again at verse 13, Hebrews 11. All of these. Now, who are these? The ones that he had mentioned earlier in the chapter. Every one of them are now dead. Every one of them. He says all of these died in faith. And when they died, they were still in the faith. They had maintained their faith even to the time when they died. But they died having never received the promises. Wow. Having never received the promises. But yet they died in faith. See, they died having not received what it is they anticipated. What does that say, or what should that say to you and me? It should say to me and you that we cannot build our faith on the basis of our human experience. It is obviously that the foundation of these people's faith extended beyond the conveniences of their exposures. Several of them died a painful death, but yet they died in faith. So their faith extended beyond the conveniences of their exposures. Their faith extended beyond the consistency of their experiences. Because as they looked around them, some of their contemporaries were blessed, received more favorable circumstances than they. So their faith extended beyond the conveniences of their exposures and the consistency rather, of their experiences. Well, what is their faith based on? I'm so glad you asked. Faith is confident that God is who he says he is. Now, that's the first point, that faith is confidence that God is who he says that he is. And faith is confidence that God will do what he say he will do. Faith is confidence that God is who he say he is, and faith is confidence that God will do whatever he say he will do. Therefore, a flourishing faith in God will carry you faithfully through all the circumstances of life. I need to say that again. A flourishing faith in God will carry you through all the circumstances of life. And flourishing faith will carry you faithfully through whatever the circumstances of life are. That is exactly what these in Hebrews chapter 11 did. Their flourishing faith in God carried them all the way through life till the end. And when their life ended, they were still standing in faith. And my friend, that's what I want you to have, a flourishing faith that will carry you through all the circumstances of life. And when you do that, it's amazing what's in store for you. But then the question comes up, what will enable my faith to flourish? What will enable my faith to flourish? How can I have a flourishing faith? Since a flourishing faith will carry me through the circumstances of life, how in the world can I get a flourishing faith? I'm so glad you asked that question. But unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till next week, and we will begin sharing the answer with you. There are 5 things that will place your faith on such a strong foundation that you will never fall. you will never fall. A flourishing faith will tell you how to move your faith forward. Remember, I am John Davis Marshall, your lifestyle architect. If my coaching can benefit your professional life, or my counsel can benefit your personal life, then extend your experience with me. www.johndavismarshall.com. And while you're there, bless yourself with one of my books. Subscribe to Matters Magazine. And then for this video, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Indeed, it is true. A better you begins with a grace view of God. That's why we want you to be gripped in His grace and mesmerized by His mercy.